So Adobe Firefly is not the first AI image generator, but it's definitely one of the easier ones to use, and it doesn't have very many restrictions. It is a little more impressive than some of the other free AI image generators, and it does offer way more customization to the image, and this makes prompt engineering a little less exhausting. So with Adobe Firefly, we come up with a detailed but simple prompt and then use different menu options to change, say, the artistic style or even the framing of the image that's created. So you don't have to type out all of those specific prompt engineering terms. So Firefly has a similar model to other high-quality AI image tools, giving users 25 free tokens a month for generative artwork. So starting November 1st, Adobe Firefly will only be available through paid credits at $5 a month for 100 credits for any type of generative artwork. So that doesn't just mean image creation. There are other tools such as typography tools, and we'll show a little bit of it on our website in a moment. Now, at the time of recording, Firefly appears to be the best value, even after the soon-to-be required subscription, for quality AI-generated artwork. Adobe Firefly is frequently used to create most of the artwork shared throughout AI Week at UWG. So before we dive into Adobe Firefly, there's a couple limitations, and the first one that's important is at the time of recording it's free, but it will no longer be free after November 1st, 2023. It has a high level of image modification, which can be a good thing but also a bad thing because the learning curve can be a little steep with the volume of menu options and capabilities for, fine-tuning and actually interacting with your image before you export your final work. It works best with highly specific prompts rather than like fully engineered prompts. So being very specific about the content of the image and then worrying about, say, artistic style, like do you want it to be a 3D rendering, looking 3D versus maybe an oil painting. The artistic style would be done with menu options. It does lack cultural awareness, and there is a token limit even with this subscription. So with that, let's dive into Adobe Firefly, and we're going to make a couple images as well. So this is Firefly's website, and at the moment we have the ability to do text-to-image, generative fill, which means we select part of an image and then give an AI prompt to fill that selection. We can do text effects or typography. We can do recoloring, and then if you scroll down, you can see some of the things that Adobe is exploring for further AI tools. So we see things like sketches being turned into images, 3D to an image. There's some really neat ones coming down here. One that I think will be cool is text to vector, which would be great for making flyer artwork. You can make patterns, your own custom brushes. There's some really neat stuff that is being explored with, I'm sure, plenty more coming to us in the future. So for this video, we're going to just do text to image and keep it pretty simple, but generative fill and text effects are also really cool. Text to image, I think, is just probably their first and most commonly used one. And so when we click text to image, we can see a bunch of neat samples with the prompts that other people have created. But for us, we are going to throw at some really simple ideas. So the first one that I want to try is a robot looking at cave art in a prehistoric cave. And we'll use this prompt for another image generator in a separate video. So let's see what Adobe gives us. And so by default, it's going to do square aspect ratio. It does art, and it doesn't pick any styles. But so we've got our robot in the cave. Now let's change it. We can make it a photo, And we can also say, let's make the lighting dramatic, and let's do wide angle, and let's see what they do. And so keep in mind, hitting that button again, that was one of my tokens. So now we've got a little bit more dramatic lighting. We've got this wide angle shot, and if we want to get a little different, we'll make one more version, and then we'll wrap this video up by modifying an image. So let's change it to graphic, and we will let's do something not on the list, or not under popular. So let's give it a, we'll go for acrylic painting and graphic, and then from here we will we'll do a quick edit of the photo so that you can see you're not just stuck with these four. So let's do this one, and we're going to click edit. We're going to do a generative fill, and you can also see, we could say I like this image and I want to see some other versions of this one. You can bring your image over into other Adobe Suite items and do some editing, but let's do a generative fill, and then we will wrap up this video. So this is going to be a pretty quick adjustment. So let's see if we can maybe have Adobe, and this is, don't critique me on my brush skills. We're moving really fast. So let's make this bigger. And we're gonna have Adobe do a generative fill from AI, and let's put like a rainforest back there. And so from our prompt, it'll give us some options to choose from. So we'll give it a moment, and let's say more, and then we'll wrap up this video. But you can see Adobe Firefly it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of capabilities, and it just takes a little bit of time. You got to sit down and explore all the menu options, but you can see you don't have to get really advanced in your prompt engineering. So we're going to stick with that, so we'll click keep, and if we're done with our image, we can click download, and it's as simple as that. So I hope that everyone gets an opportunity to try out Adobe Firefly. I know that by the time you're watching this video, you will probably be discovering it with a required subscription. But I think even for 1 month, it's worth goofing around with. It's pretty neat. You can make some fun images, maybe some fresh memes for your courses, or even some course announcements.